If you woke up tomorrow and could have one old school RuneScape stat be 99 in real life, what would you pick? Also, I'm dry on a Zenite shard, so we're going to try to get this while we talk about it. I don't want to say there's necessarily wrong answers because it's kind of an opinion, but there's some that if you pick, I am concerned about you, and for all sorts of reasons. Starting at the bottom right now, we have sailing. I feel like most of the things on the right side of this skills tree are not going to be as appealing as the left side or the middle, to be honest. But that's where I'm starting. Now, sailing is cool. That's something you guys definitely do in real life. I mean, you could be like a prized fisherman, and I guess that would make you a ton of money. Probably have like a really fire YouTube channel. But I just don't think that's something I would really care to be like the best in the world at, you know, to be able to do everything at. Now, farming's kind of cool. If you were good at farming, you could, I don't know if we can like twist this into like you're one with nature, you know, because like in farming and RuneScape, you can grow your own like spirit tree and talk and teleport with him. So I don't know how far we want to twist this, but never kill a crop, have really good yields. Now, woodcutting and fire making, I don't think I would ever pick this. What am I gonna be, like a good lumberjack? Like there's already machines that do that. It's like I'd be good at lumberjack, but it's not like I'm gonna get any of the muscles. So now fire making, I mean, if you're a pyromaniac, that's not a bad choice. Don't really see an appeal to that. I guess if you were like a survivalist person. Now cooking could be fire. You could be a Gordon Ramsay. You could make every meal exactly how you wanted. I actually do kind of see an appeal to cooking. I don't know. I could see someone wanting to just be a really good cook. Every meal you make is just a banger. You can heal yourself, right? Because if you cook the right thing, you're healing yourself in this game. I don't know, maybe a spicy stew cures cancer or something. I don't know how it works. Your health's getting ticked down by cancer. Eat a shark. Like, now fishing's kind of the same thing as sailing. Now that there is sailing, I know they kind of go hand in hand. It kind of goes back to being like a prized fisherman. You could be that, I guess. Probably somewhat lucrative. I don't know what you would want that for other than money though. Now smithing's interesting. You have the ability to make pretty much any equipment. I don't know, you could make like any tool you wanted and also like any armor you pretty much wanted if you're into that sort of thing. Now you could say mining, but like, let's be honest, you're probably just gonna get beat out by like some 10-year-old kid that's been doing it since he was 3. Because that's the way the world works. Being said, be able to mine any resource, could we make an argument that you could find those resources? Like you would have to know how to acquire them, right? If you can mine them. So maybe you just pick mining and then you just find diamonds. I feel like that beats out like fishing or anything like that. Now we're just diamond finding. Minecraft IRL. Hit points is a weird one. Your max hit points, you wake up the next day. I mean, technically that's your life in RuneScape, right? So that would make you full of life. You also regenerate life faster if you're 99. Get life faster than everyone else, but that could kind of be a curse, you know? Like maybe you can't die. Maybe you don't get attacked enough by the cancer we talked about earlier, and you just outgen it, and you never die, and you just watch everyone else die. I mean, hit points kind of sound sad now that I think about it. If you do hit points, you might be destined for a lonely life, dude. If this was 2012 and parkour videos were still hot, you would make a killing with agility. But I do think like you could, I mean, agility means you can pretty much do all the movements this world has to offer. So that would pretty much, I feel like that could make you like a star athlete, right? Run faster, I mean, you regenerate stamina quicker. I mean, if anything, you could just do like running Olympics, catch a sponsorship, call it a day. Commit crimes, you could run away faster. There's a lot you could do, actually. You could enter a horse race, but you're the horse. Think about it. There's probably no rule against you running because obviously you'd lose to a horse, but now you're like really fast. Oh my god, an 81? Now, Herblore is the first one on here that I can say I would actually think about, right? You're making potions, so you can kind of get yourself good at a lot of these skills with the right potion. But additionally, you can heal yourself, so in addition to like hit points or to go alongside food, cooking, you're healing yourself. You could do that with potions too, but your lifestyle is going to be at the mercy of the one guy who picked farming. Thieving is cool because you think about it, you could like pretty much get anything you want, right? And you wouldn't get caught. Take whatever you want from people because we have blackjack, and you could take from any store. You could pretty much just sneak around and grab anything. You could do a bank heist. I mean, there's no, you could get into any door because you can just pick locks. There's no lock you can't pick. Thieving is a very useful one, especially if you guys have some nasty hobbies that you guys do, which I'm sure you do. one of you watching definitely does. I know for a fact. Now, honestly, if you pick crafting, I'm not even gonna lie, you're kind of lame. Like, maybe I'm missing something here, but you're like, I could make pottery. Ooh, you can make some cool weapons though. Okay, I might have been talking too much trash. Ooh, and you need crafting for some smithing and jewelry. You could be like a jeweler. If you do crafting, you can be Trax NYC in the Diamond District raking in the bread. Or you can make robes. You can make robes and be like a fashionista. Crafting is an interesting career. Okay, but fletching makes no sense, right? Like fletching, oh, I made a shield. I made a crossbow. I made an arrow. Like, I don't know if there's any real world useful application for fletching. I just don't think there is. Okay, now Slayer actually gets interesting. I mean, a max Slayer basically means you can defeat anything you fight. So any animal that pulls up on you and wants to smoke, any creature, any government lab experiment that breaks out, you'd be okay. That would be like a different type of person though to pick Slayer. Like if you pick Slayer, I want your address. And I'm gonna go ahead and send that to the authorities. I just want them to just look into you just a little bit. We know what's up. I'm protecting item. That's how much of a PKer I am. I could see why someone might want a max hunter. I know that's like a fun sport quotes for people. Call it a sport. I mean, you kind of just sit there with a weapon and wait for like an unsuspecting animal to walk by. I just feel like there's not much to get out of that. Like, yeah, you could hunt really rare things. You can make a bunch of money. Okay, hold on. I just thought of a different angle. Implings. You could hunt implings if they're real. What if there's an impling-like creature in real life? You can hunt that and get random loot from it. And that could be your job. That's kind of interesting. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I still don't think it's useful, but it's interesting. Now, 99 construction. That means you can build pretty much anything you want. I mean, you could just build your own house. You wouldn't have to pay for anyone to do it. You could just build it and you can put whatever you want in there. And you're good at it. I mean, you could literally build your own dungeon. And also you can teleport from your house. So I don't know if you would unlock teleportation in real life. I'm not really sure how that works. We're still looking into the science of this. Now, rune crafting. If you pick rune crafting, I dislike the video if you pick rune crafting, honestly. I don't know what... Okay, well, don't dislike it. That's not cool. Actually don't. Actually don't. But like, what real life application is there for rune crafting? You can like fuse rocks to shoes. It kind of goes into like a jeweler niche there still. You can make runes, which you wouldn't be 99 magic, which we'll get into in a second. It's probably one of the stronger picks, honestly. But you wouldn't be 99 magic, so I don't know what you'd even do with the runes. You could have runes to cast spells you wouldn't know how to cast. Rune crafting is buns. Next is magic. Now this is arguably one of the strongest skills here, because you gotta think, you don't just have a standard spellbook. You don't just have to teleport and cast fire spells on your neighbor that piss you off. Teleport block your neighbor, that's kind of sick. But you have other spellbooks. So you have like the lunar spellbook, in which you can literally cast spells to talk to people or do various activities you need to on there, like run planks or whatever you do on a lunar spellbook. You can also venge. So anyone that tries to hurt you would get hurt. You could just walk around like O block, just fully venged, bro. Like, try me. It's gonna hurt you. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of application there. Any blood spell, you could also be healing yourself. So you could also get that life force back like you could with any of the cooking or the health. Now, prayer's interesting, because there's a lot you can do with prayer. Not only can you make yourself good at things, you can make yourself stronger, more accurate. You can also regenerate your health all the same. You will need to go to church a lot because you have to get those prayer points up. So I guess that one would depend on how you feel about going to church. Range is cool. I mean, if you get into like, I don't know what your guys' lifestyles are, but let's say you're getting into a gunfight like every day. Honestly, pick range. You could just go around dark bowing people. We're back to O block. You could go around dark bowing people on O block. I mean, they really would not see that. They would not see that coming. You would run the town. But other than that, you could have like a circus act. You know, like when people do a little spinny board and you try to throw the knives at them, you'd be great at that. You would be fantastic at that. I don't know, but I guess if you're like really good at throwing things, you could like, I mean, you could throw like a chair across the room and you could like hit people in the head. I don't know how often you're doing that it's useful enough, but what else you could do with that? Now, defense is awesome because you would literally be a human tank. So you would probably have a really good football career. You could just run around as a lineman and just never get tackled. You just be too strong. You just deflect them. You could also wear some really sick armor, but mainly I think you would just take less damage from everything. So if you had, I mean, you would literally walk around outside and like, I don't know. I mean, you see how that, like, bro, I only have 80 defense, and I didn't even get hit by a rock right there. And this is a giant gorilla throwing a rock at me. Imagine if I had 99. You know what I mean? Like, this is a gorilla throwing a boulder the size of my torso at me. Think about what you could do. Think about, you could go get in fights, and you don't even, like, you could be a UFC champion just from tanking the hits, bro. You would just wear them down, and then you can just fight them like a normal person. You don't even need to learn anything. Now, strength, I honestly feel like is one of the cooler ones. Magic probably takes the cake, at least for me in my head. And I know you guys are going to have a lot of opinions, but I don't know. Strength is awesome, though. Like, the ability to, like, the things you do with strength, you push boulders in this game. I mean, you're basically the Hulk. And I feel like the Hulk had a pretty lucrative career from merch, okay? But also, I'm sure the Avengers paid him pretty decently. You could win any strongman competition. Attack is your accuracy, right? It's like how often you hit and how good you are at hitting. So one, this circles back to some of the other things. I think you could have a UFC career. Be a better fighter than like someone who's strong or has defense because you're accurate. So you're going to keep hitting on things. So if I had to pick one, it's hard not to say magic. Like, it really is. If we look at all the skills here and their usefulness, like magic, you're enchanting, you're teleporting, you're attacking, you're healing, you're freezing, you're communicating. There's so many things you do with magic. I feel like it's hard to beat. Could you necessarily make the most money with magic? No. I think some of these other things would make more money. Like, let's be honest. If you can teleport, would you really make more money than Gordon Ramsay at 99 cooking? Probably not. Let's be real. Or a star athlete at 99 agility. Now, that's if money's the goal. Because there's some of these that people are definitely like, there's some nerd out here who's going to come tell me why 99 woodcutting is the dream he would have because of the logs he could get. How many logs he would have. Personally, I think I got to go with magic. What do you think?